talk to you today about intimacy in marriage. I love my wife. And you know what's interesting? It often surprises me. In fact, joyfully, it surprises me. She loves me back. And, you know, I think in terms of December 2005, we had our 25th wedding anniversary. Now, I know that's your silver anniversary, and supposedly you're supposed to be, by after married 25 years, wealthy enough to give her silver. I could do plasticware, but I couldn't afford silver. So instead of that, I wrote her a song. So I want to share with you just the first verse and chorus of the song, to get double mileage out of it, actually, but also just to kind of share about intimacy in that sense. I said, I opened my eyes to a big surprise. You're there once again. I've been unfair, but you're still there. You're still being my friend. Through the years, we've loved each other through the ups and downs. When the day's been hard, you make me feel like I'm wearing a crown. The chorus, you bring me joy. You help me cope. You fill my heart with an endless hope. You make me smile at the end of the day. You are God's gift to me. I love your gentle way. I do. I'm in love with this girl. And this December, we celebrate 35 years. Now, apparently that's coral. So, honey, I don't know if I can afford coral or not, but, you know, we'll figure out. I'll get you a picture of coral. How's that noise? You know, the word intimacy on TV and movies tends to mean, well, you know, being intimate, right? Two people fall in love. What's the first thing they do? They don't get married. They go sleep together, which is very contrary to what the Bible really talks about. And that's really contrary to what real love is. But today, I want to kind of help us expand that definition a little bit. And, you know, when people come in the church, they drive in, you all come in with such beautiful, lovely, happy faces. And yet I know as your pastor, life's more complicated than that. And oftentimes the area of intimacy is very difficult in a marriage relationship. So I want to kind of, not that I'm going to cure all everything today, but I kind of want to help in that department a little bit. And maybe give some thoughts and ideas to kind of help encourage intimacy in your marriage relationship. So today's sermon in a sentence is this. Are you ready for it? Now you're going to have to hear it because I didn't put it up there multiple times. You just have to pay attention, okay? Intimacy, and I want you to put big brackets around this, being one flesh, is built upon the foundation of unconditional love. That's at the bottom of your sermon notes. Intimacy, being one flesh, is built upon the foundation of unconditional love. Now, I'd like to look at our text this morning, and I've chosen Ephesians 5 again, but I also want to read to you where Paul gets his statement in Ephesians 5 regarding the profound mystery of the oneness in marriage. And so, if you look with me in Ephesians 5, 31 through 33, it says, "For this reason a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. This is a profound mystery, but I'm talking about Christ and the church. However, each one of you must also love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband." Now turn with me to Genesis, and let's go to the second chapter, back to the very beginning in the Garden of Eden, when God has taken Adam and he scooped him up from the dust of the earth, and he breathed life into him, and gave him a soul and spirit, and his body became alive. You see, this is the only creature on earth that God actually breathes into. All other creatures, they spring to life at his command. But mankind is the only one that he breathes into. And he says, then verse 22, he says, "Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib part he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the man. The man said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man. That is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh." You know what's interesting about verse 25? And it's just kind of like an add-on. It's almost like saying, and they were both naked, and they weren't ashamed. Now, I don't know about you, but I stand up here naked, I'm a little ashamed. You know, I'm just not happy with the whole product after all these years. Honestly, it's just, and I have a feeling a lot of people have body issues and that kind of stuff, but I think bottom line is there was an innocence in them. Their sense of connectedness and being together, there was an innocence. Thanks for attending today, girls. So that concept, see, I started talking sex and all this and I went out the door. But this concept of being together, of not being ashamed, that's where it all started. It was lacking in shame. The other thing I wanted to point out too was, you know, there's a story that goes like this. Adam and God are walking in the garden. And Adam's telling God, "Lord, this is a magnificent place. This is paradise. This is wonderful. And the fact that you let me name all the animals and everything, this has been great. But you know what? I feel lonely. It's like it's just me down here all by myself." And God says, "Well, what are you thinking?" "Well, I need somebody like me, you know, someone who's better looking than me and more shapely, and somebody who actually worships the ground I walk on, treats me wonderful every day, does whatever I ask, and is just, you know, just right there for my beck and call, anytime, any place." And God says, "Well, that's going to cost you an arm and a leg." Adam goes, "Well, what can I get for a rib?" The issue for most of us is that we think in terms that when he says bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh, he's talking about the oneness that is achieved in marital intimacy. And then he does this play on words. You know, man and woman. Well, I have to tell you, I looked up in the English language that more follow the origins of those words. And man comes from the Latin masculus. And the word woman comes from the phrase "withman." They have nothing to do with man and men, you know. Like, because somebody was asking the question, is male and female, is "fee" like a prefix in some way, you know, and it's not. It comes from a completely different Latin term. So those words in our language today sound like, you know, the one term I think "woman" really fits for me is when I'm going to the restroom and I see it, it says, "Whoa, man, I know not to go in there," you know. But that idea of otherwise is that sense of we are unique and we are together. God created us out of the same foundational blocks, and there is a connectedness in marriage. When he says a man will leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they will be united, and they will be one flesh. He's really talking about intimacy. I want to tell you a story about Ken and Debbie. Ken he's an Air Force pilot, and he's on his way home. Now, Air Force pilots, they think in terms of strategy and, you know, thinking out their plan, you know, so he's driving home. And he said, "Man, when I get home, I'm going to loosen my tie, and I'm going to give her the look. And we're going to go have sex. And then we're going to have dinner. And then I'm going to shoot some hoops. And then I'm going to sit down in my chair and watch some news. That's what I'm going to do. That's a great plan for a night." And he walks in the door. Now, you got to understand, they have 2 toddlers in their home. He walks in the door, and he gives her that look. And she looks back at him thinking, this guy, my energy is already gone, and this guy wants to sap everything left out of me. I am so tired and frustrated and angry. And she just looks at him like, "You are the enemy." She Now, he had some choices, and he made the wise one. He went in and sat down next to her and just said, honey, tell me about your day. And she says, well, first of all, I didn't realize that raising children would be so hard. And the washer belt broke on the washing machine. And those kids, the house is a wreck. I mean, everywhere I go, I pick something up and they've already destroyed another room. I can't keep up with it all. And he put his arm around her and he kissed her on the forehead and said, okay, honey, you just sit here and relax a little bit. And so he goes in and he does the dishes. And then he takes the kids out and he shoots hoops with the kids while she has time to kind of make some dinner and stuff and take care of some things around the house for herself. Then he helps her put the kids to bed. And then they spend the evening a little bit. And at 10 o'clock, he actually goes and locks all the doors, shuts the lights off, walks in, and guess what? She's in bed saying, honey, I'm not that tired now. Come on in. In a sense, he had connected with his wife in a way that enabled him to minister to her, that gave her strength and energy. One of the common complaints in marriage relationships is that sense of intimacy. And so I want to talk a little bit about what the differences are in intimacy. But the bottom line is, intimacy comes out of satisfying each other's needs. Satisfaction occurs when you meet each other's needs. Now, last week I talked a little bit about the top 5 needs of men and women, and they are different. But the number one need is unconditional love and acceptance. Every man, every woman on this planet deeply desires unconditional love and acceptance. And when that need is being met, there is a flurry of other things that come up, but at the same time, that's you know how they build houses, they always lay the foundation first, and if it's laid right, then the house is built right. Back when I was in college, I worked for an air conditioning company in Phoenix, Arizona. By the way, if you work for an air conditioning company, they don't send you where there's air conditioning, FYI. So there was summertime, Phoenix. The one particular day I remember was 115, and I did get a little sunstroke there, but the rest of the time I could handle it. Anyway, this one complex we were working on, we showed up with all of our air conditioning ductwork, and the craftsman looks at it, and he's scratching his head, and finally goes, you know what, they laid the foundation wrong. And so all the walls were built on the foundation, and so everything that they had built prior for design by blueprint, none of it would fit. So we had to remeasure the whole system, And ever since then, I've always realized that if you don't follow the blueprint, the house isn't built right. And a lot of times when buildings are built and they don't follow the blueprints, or they cut corners, later on, there's problems. That's so true in marriage. When we don't prepare the pathway right, we don't lay the foundation correctly in a marriage relationship, things later on crop up and become extremely difficult. When we think in terms of God created us to be one flesh. So here's God's first solution for loneliness. It was marriage. It was, Adam was working in the garden and doing all the things that God wanted him to do, but he found he was alone. And God said it wasn't good for a man to be alone. And most of the men who are single here today would attest to that. It's not great being alone. You don't have to share the remote with anybody else, but there is some drawbacks to it too. And I think ultimately when God created male and female, he had an objective in mind. So this idea of solving the solution of loneliness was really marriage. Two people willing to commit to each other for a lifetime. Now, intimacy in marriage is found when there is unity in 4 areas: emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, physically, and spiritually. When I talk with couples about this in pre-marriage counseling, I talk about, you guys are already in love, so I don't worry about the emotional connection goes beyond just, hey, you look cute, I look cute, let's get married type thing. The emotional connection is far more than that. It's how you meet each other's emotional needs. Does he really listen to you? Is he really caring about your goals and plans? Does she admire you and encourage you? Does she look up to you as a man? The emotional needs that we have tend to really, they can drive us so hard sometimes. I've seen a lot of lonely people sacrifice and give up their spiritual development, all in the hopes and dreams of finding somebody to be with. And every time they trade that off, they lose. Big time. Too many people don't realize when the Bible talks about being one in marriage, being evenly yoked, there's radical truth to that. It's not a statement to say, hey, you guys are doomed to failure already. What he's really trying to say is, understand, in this pursuit of marriage, you need to really think through this idea of being evenly yoked. And are you the kind of person who connects on that emotional level? The intellectual one, I hadn't thought about it until I read, this is out of Gary Smalley and John Trent's work, and they were saying that, people need to be on a similar intellectual level. Well, I have a problem. My wife's a lot smarter than me, so she just kind of has to dumb down for me. But that idea of us being emotionally, intellectually level, I guess I attribute that as I look back on it. One of the key things, I don't know if you guys did this or not, but when I was single, I started developing a list of what kind of person, woman I wanted to be with. And one of the first things I realized was they needed to speak music. They needed to understand music because that's such an integral part of my life. And so I found Kathy in choir and voice studio. I mean, how much more musical can you do than that, right? So that was important to me. The other important thing was, she had to be able to survive my humor. That was a big thing on the list. And then the third thing was, did she like sci-fi? And so Kathy and I are driving on our first date, and we're talking, and she's saying, oh, yeah, I like this movie, and I'm like, oh, you're so funny, and I'm just, I am in so big trouble. It was weird. We came back holding hands, and my friend's father, we had been at their house, and he walked in, well, when you guys get married? And that was our first main date, shut up. Anyway, but this idea of being intellectually compatible, thinking on the same level. My problem with Kathy was she couldn't finish my sentence. And we hadn't even known each other that well. And I could finish hers. We were kind of like on the same level. The intimacy that comes in being on the same page and listening and thinking in the same way is so important to developing intimacy in a marriage relationship. The third one is physical. Now, when I talk to couples, a lot of couples that come to me, you have to understand now that it's almost my assumption that they've already had sex. Okay? It is almost unless they've grown up in the church and I know that they have a deep faith in Christ and that they have worked really hard to maintain their relationship. So many couples come to me and they're already living together. And that really, as a pastor, I just struggle with that because I know they have already skewed the foundation of their marriage. There is a huge psychological change when a person who's been living together with someone, then they turn around and they get married. One of my first questions is, okay, you're living together? Yeah, how long? 2, 3, 4 years? Great. Why do you want to get married? Well, we love each other. I said, yeah. Didn't you love each other when you moved in? Yeah. So what's changed? I have found many times that one of the members of this couple is feeling a deeper need for commitment out of the other one. I had one couple that I started counseling, and within the third session, he turned, and this is for pre-marriage counseling, by the way. He was engaged to her, they wanted to get married, and then he turns to her and says, honey, I've already got another apartment, I'm moving out tomorrow, and see you. And I I said, and I went out to lunch with this guy afterwards. I said, you do realize that by doing this, you've already been married, and this for her is going to be like a divorce. This is going to cut her to the soul. He goes, got to do what I got to do. I thought, you snake in the grass. So things like that happen, you know. People play games, and so the physical quality of being related to each other, I don't think you have any worries about the physical element. That will come in time. And after you're married, there's lots of books you can read to really help it out, you know, so it's not like it's a big issue. The issue comes in our intellectual, emotional, and spiritual areas that ruin the physical. Okay. See, I went from preaching to mental, didn't I? Now, the concept here of intimacy, women and men think very, very differently. Now, you must understand, I asked Julie, Pastor Julie, to take the kids out today, because I knew I was going to be, this is going to be more like one of those PG-13 sermons, you know, that I was going to be a little more graphic, but I'm not going to gross you out. But let me just say it this way. Women spell intimacy T-A-L-K. Women connect on a verbal and emotional level. You know, when you go to restaurants and stuff, or you see men talking, do you ever notice men do not do what women do? Women, when they get together, they all get their chairs close together, and they're face to face, eye to eye, looking at each other and just saying, how are you doing? How's it going? You know? Guys who come off the construction site, they would sit shoulder to shoulder each other and go, did you catch the game last week? And it was awesome. Yeah. And that's what guys do. I noticed that at the conference I was at, you know, there was like 400 or 500 women there, and about 15 of us guys at the Love and Logic conference. And I started talking to Charles, one of the main, you know, speakers there. And so we're talking like this, and eventually we're talking like this, shoulder to shoulder. Guys do that. We don't do the face-to-face thing. It's I don't know if it's intimidating or what, but we just don't do it that way. But women, you girls will just lock, particularly if you're really good close friends, you just lock eyes and you're, oh, I hear you. Oh, wow, I'm so, you know, and you empathize with each other. Women, am I telling the truth? Say yes. Am I lying? Say yes. I'm not. And it's just weird how everybody does it. Women do. And here's the biggest problem I see. Men think women should think like men, and men and women think men should think like women. And we look at each other and we go, you got it all wrong. This is the way you do it. And I'm sorry, God made us different. And then he said, yeah, the audacity to say it was good. And I think there are unique qualities to maleness and femaleness that glorify our God. And it's a good thing. Now, Ken, when he came home to Debbie and he thought he was going to get some, realized pretty quick it wasn't going to happen. And I'll tell you why. Because her energy was gone. I know somebody here has heard this book before, but there's a great title of a book out there called Men Are Waffles and Women Are Spaghetti. Picture a waffle in your head for a moment. Those little squares. Men compartmentalize everything. We have our box for our work. We have our box for our hobbies. We have our box for our family. We have our box for our sex life. We have our box for church. We have our box for, you know, whatever. Sports. We have our box. And everything just kind of, it's all neatly put away in boxes. So if one thing really tanks over here, we've got all these other boxes to turn to, and we can kind of bolster ourselves and keep going. Women aren't like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, so I don't want to get you mad at me, but the spaghetti concept makes sense to me because everything's interwoven and overlapping. So if you have a bad day at work, everything else is bad. If you have a hard time dealing with the kids, everything else is bad. If something goes wrong over here, it's bad over here. And so when hubby comes home thinking, you're looking mighty fine to me, the thing she looks at him like, this has been a bad day. Back off, Jack. You go stand over there. Have you also noticed that when a couple argues, what's the first thing the man wants to do? He wants to reach out and hug her and hold her. What's the very last thing a woman wants? To be held. Don't you touch me. We deal with things differently. We look at things differently. So in the big picture of intimacy, there are so many things that can trip it up. And yes, ladies, I know you think women are perverts, and we're not. We're just wired this way. Men spell intimacy S-E-X. You should have seen it yesterday. I was here, and we had this wonderful conference. It's really a shame. They had a lot of good things. You guys really would have benefited from it. Sister Kay's daughter, Nikki, was part of the organization. They borrowed our place. They rented it from us for Friday and all day Saturday. They had marvelous conferences going on, and they had such good insight on things. And, I'm talking with a few of them outside, and I was telling you what I was going to preach on today, because Saturday is kind of my let's figure out the sermon thing. And I was mentioning it. I said, yeah, women spell intimacy T-A-L-K. And they're like, okay. I said, and men spell it, and they're going, I already know what you're going to say. S-E-X. I said, yeah. and she goes, I don't have to come to your sermon. I don't know that one. And I said, no, wait a minute. You need to understand that sex is more than just a biological drive for a man. 50 to 90% of a man's sense of masculinity is connected to his sex drive. 50 to 90%. Ladies, you might think about sex or some kind of sexual thought, maybe once a day, maybe once a week, maybe once a month. I don't know where you are. Most men, every 30 to 40 minutes. So please understand, God wired us way differently than He wired you. And we're not perverts. We have testosterone that drives us. It is a natural function of our brains. What I think God had in plan that man would be the pursuer, and that He would want us to come after you. I love what James Dobson said about sex. He says, when God created sex, He was joking. Because a lot of times it's really big confusion. And so women, when you say, no, I don't feel like it, we men take it personally. We take it personally. You're rejecting us. You might be just rejecting the day, but you're rejecting us. Now that might be wrong thinking on our part, but that's the way it works. There's an emotional sense of connectedness for us in the act of sex. Please understand, I'm not doing this just to drive you nuts. I'm trying to help you understand the way each other works. Men, if you don't talk to your wife for 2 weeks, for her it'd be the same as you not having any emotional, physical connection in 2 weeks with your wife. Ladies, if he doesn't talk to you for 2 weeks, that same distance, that same disconnectedness is what he feels. Please understand, this is not to make you feel guilty. This is not to pressure you to run home and jump into your husband. This is just to help you understand the differences between men and women when we come to the issue of intimacy, being one flesh. I've always thought the concept of one flesh was interesting because it kind of symbolizes that in the act of sex. There's a unity that takes place that only men and women can do. And I really think that that's a biblically designed concept. That's a God-given gift. Now, unconditional love and intimacy in marriage. Let me just say it this way. The cancer of marriage is selfishness. When we think in terms of, I want what I want it now, that's what destroys intimacy in marriage. Men, God has given you the ability to hold off from sex. God has given you the ability to say no, particularly with His help. In the same token, ladies, He's given you the ability to say yes with His help. When we talk about selfishness, we're talking about being more concerned about yourself than you are about the other person. The intimacy in marriage comes when it's built on that unconditional love. Tell me what unconditional love is. Give me an example of unconditional love. God's love towards us. Somebody might say, no, wait a minute. God's put conditions on all that, right? We got to have faith, or we got to follow the Ten Commandments. We got to no. God has always loved us. But He knows our hearts, and He knows how we respond to things. So He wants us to understand that in our receiving of His love, the best way we can experience that is through faith, through prayer, through worship, through study of His Word. We receive God's love through each other. When I feel so loved when Corolla makes me butter horns, let me just tell you, it's just the love. No, I'm kidding. I can't have it right now. But that idea of doing things for each other. Our writing a card and sending it off to Grant Fall for his 80th birthday. That's a simple gesture, but it communicates we care about him. It's simple, but it communicates. And so, when we as husbands and wives can learn to look at each other and ask that question, how can I help you today? Or how's your day going? Or let me listen, By the way, isn't it interesting that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth? That's a really good ratio. Listen twice as much as you speak. Now, some men need to open their mouth and speak something, instead of grunting. But most of us, me included, because I'm a talker, I spend way too much time talking and not enough time listening. Do you know about active listening? Do you know what active listening is? Eye-to-eye contact, watching body expression, body, language, and asking questions about what they just said, or say it back to them so that they understand that you were really listening, nodding, or reacting. Because, ladies, if your husband is saying, honey, oh, that's great, yeah, love you, sweetheart, that's good, yeah, and then you say, what did I just say? I got no clue. What did you just say? Then he's not listening, right? If you have to say something to a child more than twice, they're not listening. You hear those mothers in the store, and the kids whine out, and they go, no, I said no. Don't you dare do that, no. Is the kid listening? No. So what should the mom do? Go over, pick up the kid, put him in the car, and say, I'm sorry. You missed your opportunity. You get to sit here for a little bit with mom. When your husband's not listening to him, ladies, there's a couple of options you could do. You could sit there and complain about it, whine about it. Or you could go over and grab his face and say, honey, please listen to me. It really will work. Because he has to know that you're really mean business and that what you're saying is meaningful. Now, guys, here's a tip. You might want to write this down. When women are telling you about a problem, it isn't always that she wants you to fix it. Many times, she just wants to tell you about her feelings and her problem, and she doesn't want you to fix it. In fact, you get in trouble when you try to fix it. So, to save an argument, look at her lovingly and say, honey, did you want me to help with this? No? Okay, I'll just listen. That's all you got to do. She'll know that you're paying attention. She'll know that you're interested in what she's saying. And man, that makes a world of difference for her. That connects with her emotionally wife is you listen to her, you love her, you care for her, you encourage her, you love her like you want to be loved, in a sense. Christ loves us with unconditional love. The Bible tells us over and over. When you read through the Old Testament, even though God gave them all these commands, and they would screw up all the time, he kept saying, I love you. I forgive you. The prophet Hosea, the book of Hosea, is all about a prophet. God often took his prophets and said, guys, I'm going to have you live out in front of Israel what I'm trying to tell them. And he took this prophet Hosea and he had him marry a prostitute named Gomer. It's a great name for a prostitute, Gomer. But anyway, maybe it's Gomer. We'll say it's Gomer. And sounds nicer. And she cheats on him, and he takes her back. And she cheats on him again, and he takes her back. And God is saying to Israel, that's my love for you. You go off and worship these other gods, but when you come back to me, I will take you back. That's unconditional love. When we have unconditional love in the New Testament, when John writes, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life. Or when Paul says, God demonstrated his love in this, that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. That's unconditional, folks. That's making the deal before you guys even came along and had a choice in it. Jesus set it up so that we could come back to the Father. That's unconditional love. In marriage, unconditional love is learning to love the person even though they're kind of unlovable at times. There's always something in marriage that's going to require you to give more love for a period of time than the other one is giving you. And in that process, if they learn to love you back, then there are going to be times that they're going to have to show you more love than you're putting out. And that's the way it works. Most of the time, those verses that talk about how the body of Christ is to get along fit beautifully into marriage. Be humble, be gentle, be kind. When you look at 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 through 8, he says, love is patient, love is kind, it's not envious, it's not boastful, it's not proud, it's not rude, it's not self-seeking, it keeps no record of wrongs, it always trusts, always loves, always perseveres. Love never fails. You put your name in there for the word love, and see how far it goes. Martin never failed. Well, okay, that doesn't quite work. But you put the name Jesus in for love, and it works. Jesus is patient. Jesus is kind. Jesus isn't self-seeking and boasting and proud and rude. If you take those elements and add that to the way you deal with your marriage, it will bring a beauty and an intimacy in your marriage that goes beyond understanding. You see, intimacy, being of one flesh, is built upon the foundation of unconditional love. It really is. And the way Christ loves us, we can reflect that love to our mate. And the way Christ works through us, we can reflect that love to others. Christ has called us to love each other unconditionally. That's in marriage. That's in the church. And really, honestly, we're to love the people outside the church unconditionally as well. Sometimes I get the impression that we think God is this huge bean counter up there. And every time somebody messes up, he goes, got Bob on that one. Oh, Tim messed up over here. RJ, what are you doing? I'm going to get these guys. Man, I'm just going to nail them for that. That's the way we think. There's this one guy, he gets fired from his job, and on his way home, his wife calls him, tells him she's leaving him, and he gets another phone call from the school. They're putting his son on dismissal, because of bad things. And then as he's driving home, he gets in a car wreck that should have killed him, and he gets out of the car and he looks at that and goes, "Miss me!" That's the way people think about God. That's not our God. He loves us with an everlasting love. He loves us with unconditional There's nothing you can do that would make him love you less or love you more. He loves you. Oh, how he loves you. That unconditional love needs to permeate our souls so that it permeates all our relationships. And that we love people. We love our spouse with unconditional love. Now let me wrap this up with one last thing. When you look at your spouse with unconditional love, and you work to think in terms about not meeting your needs, but meeting their needs, that's when intimacy takes place. When you're worried more about your needs than their needs, there's a problem. You need to go to God in prayer with that. But when you're thinking in terms of, how can I meet their needs? What can I do to reach out and help them? How can I listen? How can I love? How can I care? That's why I asked you guys last week. Talk to your spouse and ask that question, I feel loved when? Tell them to finish that sentence. I feel loved when? And ladies, be prepared. It might be sexual. Okay, just know. Because that's how guys operate, how they think. We're not running around looking at we want to have sex with everyone, but if there's the woman in our life that we deeply love and want to connect with, that's where it comes down to. Please understand, your pastor has not become a pervert. This is the way all the marriage books talk. This is the experience of years of counseling couples. And I have done some doozies. The bottom line is that when we can understand God's love for us and reflect that love to our spouse, then a man will leave his father and mother and hold to his wife. Cleave. He's not going to use a cleaver on her. He's going to cleave. That means to hold on to. And then when we get to this idea of loving each other and play the game, I love you more, and try to show it. Try to outlove your spouse. Wouldn't that be awesome? What a great game to play for both of you. How can I love you more? All right. Intimacy, being one flesh, is built upon the foundation of unconditional love. Stand and let's pray. Team, come on up. God, we thank you so much for your love and your mercy. And Lord, marriage is work, but it can be great work. So God, we pray that you would encourage our lives and our people. Help them understand that love is the foundation of our families, of our relationship with you, of our relationship as a church. The bond of perfectness is really love, your love in us. So God, I pray a blessing upon each of our families today, that we would all work to develop a sense of love and care for each other. We'd get our eyes off ourselves and put our eyes on you and show love to our family. Again, God, we praise you and